Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Unlucky. So, good evening, everybody. My name's Kevin, as he's just said, and you're probably not aware, but this weekend was Thanksgiving weekend in the United States, and it's basically where Americans get together and give thanks for not being shot yet. And so they asked me to do a bit of a warm-up, so we put the heating on. And I've just finished a successful tour of the Far East of Wigan. And Marshall asked me to do some balloon materials, so I bought this t-shirt. And I bought it from the local, it's a designer t-shirt, it's from the local Primani. And I remember when I went to buy it, I went into the changing cubicle and, or as you call it here, a shoplifting cubicle. And I came out and I said to the assistant, there's no toilet paper in there. Luckily I'd taken my own. And basically, I moved to Southport about 3 years ago. And basically there's not a great deal to do in Southport besides dying. So I wrote a bucket list. I think you know what a bucket list is, right? And by far my favourite was a mop bucket. I don't like fire buckets. And so I decided to take on some activities. And as an incidental to that, you're probably not aware, but the Southport Flower Show was invented to keep pace with the demand from the local cemetery here. So basically, there's been a bit of a surge in crime here. In fact, it's got so bad the sea's afraid to come in. And you know, it's getting really bad because the Australians are starting to send the convicts back over here. And I think if they ever have a marathon in Southport, you do the first half marathon where you run out to sea, and then the second part of the marathon will be to run back again. So, you know, in order to find things to do in this place, I started to sign up for some various courses. I'm a bit of a disaster chef in the kitchen rather than master chef, so I took a course in cordon bleu cooking. So now I'm actually able to burn restaurant standard food. So I signed up for a course in mindfulness. Do we know what mindfulness is?
Yeah.
You would. And basically mindfulness, if you don't know, is about the teachings of Buddha, tranquility, peace, harmony, stress-free life. So the course got cancelled after a few weeks because the teacher went off sick with stress. And then I took a course in sailing, which was on Marine Lake. And basically, with my first lesson, and we went out into the middle of the lake, and the tutor he was a bit of a smart ass. So the wind took off, and the sail swung round and smacked me on the side of the head. And he said, "You know what that is?" He said, "That's a boom." I said, "A boom?" He said, "Yes, it's basically the noise it makes when it hits you on the side of the head." I said, "Thanks for telling me." So I pushed him overboard. And I said, "You know what that is?" "That's a splash." "That's the sound it makes when you're in the water." And on the same theme as we were talking about with crime, I went to visit a friend of mine in some of the mean streets of Southport, and I was going to watch some DVDs with him. And basically, I got to his house, and he had one of these huge 3D TVs. So I was looking at the TV, and I said, "This is absolutely amazing. I'm watching a riot on your TV, and it looks absolutely real." He says, it is real, you're looking out the window. But the TV's over here. So I sat down with him, and we were watching this movie. And basically it was an incredible movie, action movie. And there was a police chase, car stunts, armed police everywhere, police shootout. I said, this movie is incredible. What's it called? They said, it's not a movie, it's last night's CCTV. So we watched a couple of DVDs afterwards. We started to watch Breaking Bad. And my friend said to me, have you seen Breaking Bad? It's about the drug trade. So my friend decided to, he wanted to become a drug dealer. So he signed up for an e-learning course. And he's doing his OCQ, which is the Organised Crime Qualification Level 1. And they have a summer school in Walton Prison. So in order to find something exciting to do, I decided to have a prostate exam. A local clinic. So I went along and I was sitting in the waiting room, and there was a student in there. He'd just got his exam results and he was crying. I said, what's wrong? He said, I got an A and a B and a C. I said, well, what are you crying about? He said, it's hepatitis A, B and C. So I went into the to get the checkup, and I thought I'll start with some small talk while the doctor's hands warm up a bit. And basically, I said, how did you get into this game, being a prostate examiner? He said, well, I started out as a ventriloquist, and it went on from there. I said, okay. So he said, before we get started, I'd just like to know that there's a chance that the exam will cause erections. I said, I've never heard that. He said, I wasn't talking about you. So I put folded my trousers and put them next to his. And I said, you're making me a bit nervous with what you're saying. How do I know you're behaving properly? He says, well, don't worry, we'll put it on pay-per-view later. So after that I went for an eye test, and I had the eye test, and the doctor came back to me and he said, I'm sorry to tell you, but you seem to have a lazy body. So I said, well, you're not a very good optician, to be honest. I couldn't read a word of that eye test. So I went on to watch the pay-per-view of my examination, and the doorbell went, and there was two old ladies, and the first one said to me, have you ever heard of a book called the Bible? I said, no, but you can probably get it on Amazon. And to be honest, she was old enough to have been at the original book signing. So they were in a bit of a tag team, so the other one said, it's the greatest story ever told. I said, really? I said, I haven't read it, so don't spoil it for me. And basically, don't spoil it for me. And to be honest, I read it afterwards, and I thought to myself, it's not that great a story, to be honest. I mean, the guy dies in the end, and it's a really poor whodunit. And I don't know if you're aware, but there's over 4 billion Bibles in circulation today. It's the most read book in the entire world. And I can't believe they haven't written a sequel. Anyway, I went to see an ABBA tribute band at the Hungry Monk the other day. I don't know if anybody went to that. And there was only 2 of them. So I can't understand why they didn't just call themselves an ABBA tribute band. And I'll just finish on this. I was walking down the street the other day and somebody hit me in the face with a laptop. And I thought to myself, that's PC gone mad. Okay, thank you very much.